Welcome to Primavera P6 tutorials. Today we will learn about scheduling options and schedule log. Now for those who are already aware of Primavera know that Primavera has two scheduling options, that is progress override and retain logic. Another topic we're going to learn is schedule log and how to use it. Now before moving on to our topic, first we need to learn about an out of sequence activity. Now what is an out of sequence activity? An out-of-sequence activity occurs when an activity starts or completes well before its predecessor is in progress or is completed. Now I have made a sample project which we are going to use for this video. Now let's just add some activities over here. Let's name them A to E and E. Now if you see over here we have activities but we cannot see the relationships. Now let's select from top to bottom link activities. Now let's schedule it. Okay, now let's give the activity some durations and 2 days. Okay, now let's just schedule it. Now let's add a baseline to the project. Go to project, go to maintain baseline, save the current copy of the project as baseline. Okay, now go to project, assign baseline, assign as primary baseline. Okay, now we cannot see the baseline over here. Let's go to our charts. Let's click on primary baseline. Now we can see our baseline over here. Okay, now say for example that our activity A starts and that it has 3 days remaining duration, and activity B is already started and it is also completed, but it got over before the planned duration, that is it got completed before A. If you go to schedule and go to options and change to progress override, now let's schedule it. I'm gonna change the date first to 30th September. Data date is on 30th September. Now if we see closely over here, we can see that activity A is in progress, activity B is completed, and activity C is now riding on the data date. Start of activity C was 4th October, is now 30th September. This is because in progress override, Primavera will forget the predecessor activity relationship that an activity has if the predecessor activity is completed. Now the project which was supposed to get over on 14th October is now getting over on 9th October, which is positive, but it is more optimistic. It does not seem to be realistic. Now if we go to schedule, go to options, retain logic and schedule it, we can see that now as per our original link, now the project gets over on 12th October, but if you see activity C now starts on 3rd October instead of 30th October. Now why is that? That is because in retain logic, now OEM B is completed but activity A is still in progress. Now activity ends on 2nd October and activity A to B is finished to start. That is why activity A to C will drive finish to start relationship. That is why it is starting on 3rd October. Now see for example activity B was supposed to be finish to finish with 3 days. Now if we schedule it, if we can see that activity C starts on 7th October, so The relationship not only works in finish to start, but also works in finish to finish. But you see, 3 days after 2nd October is 6th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And 6th it should start, but it starts on 7th October. Now, if you go to the calendar, now let's see. Friday is weekend, 6th is holiday over here. That is a weekend over here. That is why the activity now starting on the 7th. Now, say activity C was now also in progress, and it has 2 days remaining duration. And if I schedule it again, we can see that activity C is broken over here. Like start and finish is like different path. Now, if we change the relationship from finish start 0, which was original link, and schedule it again, we can see that activity C starts exactly after activity A is completed. How are we to say that which activity or how many activity are out of schedule or say out of sequence? If you go to schedule, we can see we have a tick over here, say log to file. Let's keep this tick and schedule it. Scheduling options. So go and view log. Now you can see that this gives a lot of information like method of scheduling option chosen, things like number of activities, activities which is started, which in progress or completed, and other things like activity which have predecessor or without successor. Right over here we have our out of sequence activities. Now we can see that activity B is out of sequence, and we also see that the count, the number of activity that are out of sequence. Now from this we can see that or know that B is out of sequence. Now how can we solve the problem? Say we have two activities, block work and say plaster. Now say we give this like 15 days duration, and this we give like 10 days duration, and if we link them and say that activity block work has already started and it has 10 days remaining duration, and if I schedule it, you can see that driving to far from activity block work, this can be solved by changing the activity links. Like instead of finish start, we can give finish to finish link, or another thing we can do is that we can break down activity into multiple activities, like say block work layout, block work, block work construction, and instead of just plaster we can use that plaster preparation and plaster works. Now let's link these activities, link activity, and now just give them some lag. Now let's give all of them a lag of 2 days. And now let's just give them some duration. Okay. Now let's say that block work layout is already started, and instead of waiting for block work layout to complete, we can say that block work construction has already started and in progress, and say we have 2 days remaining duration for block work layout, and say we have 10 days remaining duration for block work construction. Now, if we schedule this, you can see that activity go as per the sequence, and activity gets over on 21st October. And if I schedule again on, say, progress override, so you see that the end duration remains the same. Now, to understand the main difference between progress override and return logic, Primavera ignores the relationship between activities in progress override, while in return logic, Primavera will respect the network logic. In progress override, activities might never show up on critical path since the predecessor relationship are ignored, while in return logic, it will create a worst case scenario completion date, giving an early warning signs to expedite the delayed work. And progress override could give a misleading message that project is getting over ahead of schedule since the delayed predecessor activity might never show up on critical path, while in return logic, auto sequence activity give a much drastic report that the project is way behind the baseline schedule. Now, what does it mean when we say Primavera ignores the relationship of predecessor activity, showing more optimistic project end date? Now, if we look at these set of activities over here, they have total float different for each activity. Now, if we go to scheduling options, check progress override and schedule it. This is the result that we have. Blockwork layout has 7 days of total float, while the rest of the activity has 1 day of total float. Now, if we go to scheduling options to retain logic and schedule it, we have totally different result. Now, the whole network activity has 1 day of total float. That is because Primavera now calculates the project end dates based on the predecessor activity, which is still in progress and not completed, hence maintaining the project logic. If we go to scheduling options and come back to progress override, and let's say that block layout has 2 days of remaining duration instead of 3 days, and block work has 11 days instead of 10 days. And if we schedule on progress override, we can see that block work layout has 6 days of total float while the remaining has 0 total float. That means that activity block work layout which is still remaining is not showing on critical path. Now, if we change scheduling options to retain logic and schedule it, now we can see that all network is now with 0 total float. That is because it is now calculating the longest path based on the predecessor activity which is still incomplete. And why does auto sequence activity occurs? It might be due to unavailability of detailed level of scope, that is describing one scope of work under one activity name with one rough estimated activity duration. And other reason is that a contractor is always trying to achieve maximum progress during the project duration, so he might try to attack all the work fronts available to him for a steady progress, and this might create an out of sequence activity within the project. Thank you for watching. Until next time.